I don't know who those guys were promoting our show, but they got it wrong. It ain't 3 p.m.
Inaccurate promo.
My goodness. Those guys sounded like idiots. Who were they?
It's funny. We recorded that so long ago, I forgot it existed, and that's the first time I've heard it. We've been at 4 o'clock for a month since.
No, I think that was like from when we used to be at 3 p.m. permanently, like years ago. Like, I think that made its way into the log somehow. That's funny.
I was just told in my ear it was supposed to be taken out of rotation. So
Yeah, I guess so.
you won't hear that one again. That was an exclusive.
So how does it work when it's in rotation? Do they go eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
It's all automated, brother, and then they'll all pop up there, and Derek hits his little screen, and they all pop up, and it's just
I
like,
see.
yeah,
Yes.
we were at 3
We
during
were on
Jays.
once upon a time at 3 p.m., but now we are 4 to 6, except
today.
for today, where we are on 2 p.m. Eastern.
to 4:17 and a half.
4:25:54. If anyone's asking.
That's actually the truth.
So we are
54.
on for the next 2.5 hours.
2.5. They paying you extra today, Kippy?
I'm just trying to pace myself.
He's providing value, excess value to the company.
I'm breathing. I've never done 2.5 hours in my life.
Buddy, the Bunkin crew and Ailish, they did a daily 4-hour show. Daily.
I used to do 4-hour shows every night.
There's not enough hours in the day for Bunkus, okay? Let's be honest.
Come on.
This guy could talk a pit bull off a meat wagon.
Well, it's almost like he should have his own show or something. It's like where you have to talk a lot.
He has his own show. There's no one else on it, and there's still not enough time for him.
Oh, you're the worst. I disagree. Disavow.
But I've never seen it in my life. I've been around broadcasting for almost 30 years. I've sat and waited for him for like 7 minutes, and I'm like, buddy, I'm here. I'm here.
I disavow these comments. My great friend JD Bunkus does a fantastic job
from these comments.
Yeah, I disavow. The views of Real Kipper does not affect.
There's a woman at my gym, Jeanette. I think. I think, and she came up to me today and said, "Oh, I loved you on the JD Bunkus show."
You're like, what about
I'm
my
like,
show?
I'm like snapping my fingers in her face and going, really?
Yeah.
You listen to JD Bunkus?
Oh, good Lord.
Come on.
And she says,
Enough.
I love him.
Enough.
I love him.
Yeah, a lot of people love him. That's why they give him a
fine
2-hour
with
show.
that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And
she said I was
do
great.
a show with him.
I'm not even sure if she knew I had a show. That's how much she loved JD Bunkus.
I did have someone come up to me and say, I really enjoy you on Leafs Talk. I was like, I'm on Leafs Talk like twice a year. Thank you.
That
is
worries me a little
awesome.
bit.
That is awesome.
That worries me a little bit. Gonna get pipped by Daniele and you this week. I'm dead.
Okay, out of 2.5 hours, how much did we kill on JD
3 minutes
Bunkus?
Yeah. Leafs play today, 5 o'clock.
We are live on Sportsnet 360, though, correct?
Right.
And Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto.
Correct.
And we're streaming on Sportsnet Plus. And we're still available on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, correct? I've got all that right for the next 2.5 hours?
The only thing that's different is we will not be on in Calgary radio and on Vancouver radio, but everything else is exactly the same. Because there's some hockey going on.
Yeah.
Both Canucks. Am I talking?
We can hear you.
Okay.
You're fine.
My headphones aren't working.
Yeah.
Both the Canucks and Calgary Flames play afternoon games today.
Ooh,
and I don't think it's just Janine that loves JD Bunkus. There's a
now
lot
you're
of other
feeling
people.
Now I
Well, listen, I don't want you to start crying about your buddy.
Well, he's my buddy.
Hey.
You're being mean.
Oh, my goodness. You're like Matthews now missing Marner. Hey. Oh,
Listen.
can you function for the next 2.5 hours?
No,
Carry the play a little bit yourself.
Here's what I'll say. I'll be here for 2 hours. You guys can talk to Gordo at 4 o'clock. I got to go home. I got to work. I got to do my other job.
What is your other job?
I got to do Leafs talk after the Leafs game. So I got to get home. I got to get settled. I got to get dinner. I got to watch the Leafs game.
Buddy, your first commitment's this show.
Yeah. I'm out of here. I'll go sit over there in the corner and watch while you guys talk to Gordo.
Damn right you will.
Yeah.
Game day. 5 o'clock Eastern start. Thanks to U.S. Thanksgiving. How many games do we got tonight? 15?
I think 15 games over the course of today.
Many are happening as we speak, though. I think
there's one in the books yet. I think there's a real early one with
12 p.m. with Detroit and Tampa. Rangers and Boston. We're playing at 1. Colorado and Minnesota are playing this afternoon. Then a bunch of 4 p.m. puck drops. Only one 7 p.m. puck drop tonight. Nashville, Carolina, or in Chicago a little later on. But yeah, a lot of afternoon hockey action today.
And jam-packed with guests. Alan May, who covers the Capitals, does a terrific job for Monumental Sports Network, will join us in a few minutes
Awesome.
to tee up Tom Wilson and company.
Mm-hmm.
David Amber, 305. Is he coming in studio or is he just calling in?
So the progression of this David Amber thing was when I texted him on the start of the week. I was trying to get him on this week because we love having him on. And then he said, I'll come in studio. I was like, fabulous. And then he texted me yesterday. He's like, I'll be on Zoom. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Not quite as good. And then he texted me today. He's like, boys, I've been sick as a dog. He's like, I'm not looking very good. I might be in transit. So you might get a David Amber conversation on the phone today. Your favorite. Maybe in the car.
He can't show off his pipes.
Maybe in the car.
If it's just a phone, he doesn't get to show off his pipes or his calves.
But Gord Stellick will be joining us in studio.
I think as a replacement, while we talk to Amber, we have to have Sam just flexing at the camera.
I've seen bigger arms than a snake.
Let's get Gord to flex his arms then, and if David can't.
We'll do what we can to get through today.
Gord Stellick will also join us later on in the show. So that is 3 all-world guests on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. In the meantime, we've got the Toronto Maple Leafs. Really good test right now, right? Because we do know that Washington during last season exceeded expectations and became a team that we thought could make noise in the playoffs. It didn't really happen last year for them, but they had a really good season. A bit slow out of the gate, but they seem to be coming on right now. For the Toronto Maple Leafs to find a way to 2 points right now would really go a long way for people to start believing that they could maybe dig themselves out of this a little bit. Would you believe that?
Yes.
Are you good on that?
I wrote an optimistic article on Sportsnet.ca today about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Because you're our guy on our show that just refuses.
Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
You know, it could be denial. It's like they can't be this bad after being that good. They just can't be. But everything I write in the article, I've said here before.
But there's buts in there, right?
Well, there is buts in there, which is that
You sure about that?
They no longer are operating with a safety net. And, you know, like if someone gets hurt, say Joseph Woll, if he's even bad for a stretch, when you start this far behind the 8 ball, you really set yourself up for failure. So I do believe they're a good enough team to get where they need to get in playoffs. But boy, got to get going now. I got him at 2-2 on this road trip. How do you feel about 2-2? Would you be content? Would that be enough for you over the next 4 games?
Well, it's 5.
Well, okay,
5.
3-2 then on the road trip total.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Right? And
I think they got to get both houses back to back.
I think more importantly, like instead of watching them get 2 points like they did against Columbus, I'd almost be more comfortable with 60 games to go to see them being better, more dominant in 60 minutes. If they happen to lose but play a lot better than in Columbus, I'm almost okay with that. No. I am.
Room left for that.
No. I need to see them over 60 minutes just play better than the other team. It goes back to Brad Treliving's press conference when he says, we've won and all we've done is just found a way, but we have not looked better than that other team.
We've outscored other teams. We haven't won games.
Okay,
there
you
right?
go.
And that's similar.
Real consistent because that's what we saw in Columbus. But show me a team that can at times look like they can dominate portions of the game more so than the other team over 60 minutes. And I'm almost better than – I want to see that more than even the end result.
Yeah, but they also need to get to 92 points, and time's running out.
Okay, we'll pick up on that. But in the meantime, let's go to Alan May. Covering the Washington Capitals, does a terrific job all these years. Once upon a time, my teammate. Let him fight all the big boys, and then I go find the little tiny ones.
At least you're fighting someone.
Alan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. You forgot to say line.
Not just teammate, but line mate.
Oh, line mate.
Oh, you guys, who played with you guys? That must have been a nightmare.
Who do we start off with? Rob Murray.
Rob Murray, yeah. There was a bunch. Yeah, Wick was there. Rob Murray, Doug Wickenheiser, I think Timmy Berglund, Peter Zezel, you name it.
You guys must have been, hey, like, you guys ever shut up out there? You're both in media for a reason. That must have been the heck of a verbal line, not just physical.
Well, I had to stay warm. We had to stay busy, so we did what we had to stay in the lineup as well.
Let me ask you something. You've covered the game at ice level as well. Is the chirping been consistent all these years? Has it gotten better, worse? You were really good at it, of course.
Well, there's not many guys that do it, and they've got to, everything's so PC. They've got to be very careful with every word they say now, so it's not as good. But I will tell you, from when I've been down there, Tom Wilson is one of the all-time best. He's been incredible. And obviously, because you see how many times that, you know, after an incident with him on the ice, there's usually something going back and forth. There's usually a meme or whatever you call that all over, social media. But he's unbelievable. He should have. I think he was on the high school debate team as well. Because,
but he's so much bigger and stronger and more intimidating than most guys in the league, with the exception of maybe a handful. Like in our day, there was maybe 20 or 30 Tom Wilsons. Now it's even easier for a guy like that to go around and scare the poo-poo out of guys.
Oh, guys just have to look at, they get scared just watching Instagram clips. Like it's a whole different world. It's not like you see, you're in warm up in the American Hockey League, you skate around in that center ice, all of a sudden there's a guy that's 6'8", and because of technology, they've sewed 5 different jerseys together as patchwork to make the guy's jersey. So it's a different game. Now the guys that are 6'8" and 6'9", they got a beautiful custom jersey, but we didn't know who they were till we stepped on the ice, and then you had to read about the player. But I know that there was games that I went into, one preseason game, Kyper. I'm not sure if you played in that or not, but Jack Button, our old director of player personnel, came in before the game, and he goes, "Hey, do you know any of these guys?" I go, "No, don't know anyone." There's no internet back then, and there was like a dozen guys for me to fight, and he was like, "He's a lefty, he's a righty, he throws both, he's a hugger, he'll jump you, blah, blah, blah." And he's going down the list, and I just said, "Who's the toughest?" And he goes, "This guy." So first shift of the game, I ran in the goalie, and then I ran after that guy, beat the snot out of him, scored 2 goals. And after the game, Jack goes, "That's the greatest thing I've ever seen." I said, "Jack, I know I've only been in pro hockey 5 years, but if I would have fought number 12 first, I would have fought number 11, and by the time I got to number 1, I probably would have got my ass kicked along the way." So I figured I'd just take out the beast, the head of the snake first.
The great Jack Button.
It was a very different time, yeah.
Isn't that how prison works? Isn't that what we're told? I didn't think that was hockey.
Well, that's why we played back when it was officially called prison rules. And the further the league you were in for the NHL, it was even worse. So it was like prison rules with no guards. So it's the game it's evolved, and I look back. Thankfully, it's evolved as much as it has. I still love to watch, hard hitting games. I still love all the altercations after the whistle. I like to watch a good fight, but you hardly see those. And I think there's fewer fights than ever, but more. I think the guys get hurt more often than not because I think it's ridiculous the way they fight now. The techniques they use, there's not enough self protection. And that old thing that was called ducking, I don't see enough of it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I actually wonder if in today's NHL, if there's not more value in having a tough guy on your team because there's so few. Like, when the Caps play, people are aware of Tom Wilson, and it's like it's a weapon that not every team has, where it felt like every team used to have at least someone.
Teams have native hitters as well. When you look at it, I think the game is way overcoached, and it creates a lot of ugly Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games as well. When the scientists are all out there, the hockey analytics guys, and, F1, 2, and 3, or, even the fourth line's abiding by it. When the fourth line used to be heat-seeking missiles, and then you get the funnest part of the NHL season is the playoffs, when everyone becomes a heat-seeking missile. And, I love the fact that Florida's been in the finals 3 years in a row because that's how they play the game. And, Tampa, they finally won a cup after, some trips and some really good hockey teams. I'm talking about not the Tortorella teams, but the recent ones, is because they got gritty, they got tough. And so the biggest thing going in the playoffs now, you got to be tough. You have to take hits, make hits, block shots. Everyone's got to do it. And everyone's got to back check. Everyone's got to earn their pay. And the teams that get bloodiest and, the most bruised in the playoffs, those to me are the teams that are winning Stanley Cup, as long as their guys aren't getting knocked out of the lineup left and right.
You're listening to Alan May, who covers the Washington Capitals for Monumental Sports Network. The Toronto Maple Leafs in town, nation's capital, play the Washington Capitals, 5 p.m. Eastern. So a slow start for Washington, and are we seeing kind of more of a similar team to last season in terms of being one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference? Are they climbing here, Alan?
You know what? They were ugly the first couple, and then they went on a tear, and then they had some injuries, and that's where it was ugly. But in the last 7 games, they're 5-1-1. They've scored about 31 or 32 goals, only allowed 20 against somewhere, in that area. But they've gotten back to being a good 4-line team. And, you lost some really good players here in like serviceable professional players that really knew their role. Taylor Radish got onto the New York Rangers. Every time I see him play, he's played very well. He scored 21 in Chicago 3 seasons ago. And he was very dependable with the Caps. Andre Mangiapane, one-time 35 goal scorer, but to me, he's a 20. And he played all over the lineup last year because of McMichael and Protas popping off. You were able to slot him down in the third line, and he played, right or left wing in every line. So this year, the Caps got hit with injuries early. Pierre-Luc Dubois, who had his best season ever, I think, in the National Hockey League with the Caps last year, career high in assists, career high in points. They lost him early, and they've lost him maybe until March or April. And it was a matter of figuring out who's going to step up, because all of a sudden they were really thin at the center ice position. They experimented with a kid that everyone was up in arms about, Justin Sordoff, they got from Florida's, basically their farm team. And he came in for 2 second-round draft picks, and all the bloggers were pissed off. And he's fit in very, very well with Tom Wilson, Alexei Protas. They've been, since they put them together, the team's been very, very good. Like I said, 5-1-1. And he stepped up. I don't think he's a full-time second-line center. Certainly when you take the best teams in the league and you make guys go head-to-head all year long. And then we talked about battle time in the playoffs. So it gives them a great option at third line, because last year they did not have a third-line center that really worked out. Lars Eller came in, and he got sick, and he was never the same. Before that, Hendrix Lapierre, he wasn't what the coaches were looking for in that position. So it's just a matter. They may have, benefited by these injuries if they can maintain to get to a playoff position and get PLD back for the playoffs. But all of a sudden they got a guy that they can trust that can be dependable on the third line at center. So I thought that was the problem last year, and it looks like they're rounding out again. They all believe in the coaches. They're an excellent 5-on-5 team. Power play has been just like Toronto. Everyone's wondering what's going on at the power play, and then on the penalty kill, not so great this season. So. There are things, but I think bottom line is they're a very good 5-on-5 hockey team. Every regular player on the roster is a plus.
Yeah, that's wonderful. The 5-on-5 play has been so good. One of the guys that when I've watched them play that stands out for that, Ryan Leonard. Like, is there a chance that this guy is new Brad Marchand? I just feel like he's got that sort of competitiveness and pest factor and the skill to boot.
Well, he does some of those things, but I don't think, Brad Marchand's arguably, he could be a Hall of Fame player. He's an incredible player. And when he first got in the league, he was full of so much piss and vinegar, and he was out there getting under everyone's skin, taking dives, the cheap shots. But, and he could back it up with the fisticuffs. And, he'd go toe-to-toe with, when guys dropped him, he'd go toe-to-toe with them. I've seen Ryan Leonard fight, so that automatically takes him out of the Brad Marchand category. Because it's not pretty, and I don't think he knows what he's doing. And if I were his teammates, anytime I saw him drop his gloves, I'd race in there to make sure that he doesn't get himself his ass kicked. But he's a hell of a hockey player, and as he learns how to play without the puck, he'll be really good. And when he's got the puck, the head never goes down. He's like all those U.S. players that come out of the development team. Their stick handling, their puck handling is amazing. And as the years have gone by, the skaters are better and better. So, he wows us all the time. He plays the game with a lot of confidence. And, I don't think he's as physical. I don't think that's ever had to be part of his game, whereas Marshy was always playing that way in junior. pro from day one. We saw him getting involved in those things, but once again, the game's evolved so much. So I think he's got to stick to worrying about how to be a competent player without the puck, and then continuing to work on, how hard it is to create offense in the National Hockey League.
Alan, I want to just bring it back to Tom Wilson again, just in terms of the talk about him on a Canadian Olympic team. He's a lock for me. I think they made a mistake leaving him off the Four Nations. It's as if I'm watching him, and he's constantly reminding everybody that they can't make the same mistake twice. There's John Carlson. There's Jacob Chikrin. Are these guys playing with that sort of chip on their shoulder that suggests that, hey, we're leading the Washington Capitals here in scoring, and we want to be a part of this thing, the Olympics?
Well, Tom's play after he came back from his ACL a couple of years ago, he had half the season, and it wasn't a pretty half. Anytime, and you went through this with the knee injuries, is that when you come back from those, it takes over a year to come back. And the last season was phenomenal. And Nick, you can probably back me up on this, but I've never seen a physical player improve at the age of 30 like we saw out of him. 30-plus goals last year. He should be in, 35-ish, 40 this year. It's going to be him or either he or Ovi for who, leads this team in goals. But getting back to the Olympic team, he is got to be on the team, in my opinion. From what I've seen around the league with all the names that they've mentioned, it'd be a shame for him not to, because he's 5-on-5, he's power play, he's penalty kill, but most importantly, he's competitive. And he's probably the fastest player on the team, game in and game out. He uses his speed to his advantage. He can crush guys. He wins his battles. He's intimidating, imposing. And you look at Mark Stone won't be on that team this year. There's a slot right there. And you look at other players, there's no one that resembles him on that roster, would be left or right wing. He'd be a unicorn. And there's other guys that look the same. Can they play in a second, third, and fourth line role? And he can play in any of those. And believe me, if he was on the fourth line, he'd be still highly motivated, just like he's playing on the third or the first.
So maybe you can help us make sense of Logan Thompson not being on the last Canadian national team, and the likelihood of him being on this one seems like he's got to be this time.
Well, I don't make the decisions, but if it were up to me and the names that have been mentioned, who's the one guy of all the players they spoke about going into this season that's on the ice playing every game, that's the MVP of his team right now? It's LT. Binnington's had a tough go, but his team's been horrible in front of him. But he's going to be on the team regardless, I would think. Aiden Hill, not even playing. Sam Montembeault, not good at all this year. He's a backup in Montreal. The Caps torched him last week. So to me, if he's not on there, it's ridiculous. It'll be as ridiculous as how they picked the World Junior team for Canada last year. So I would say he has to be on there. Wilson has to be on there. And, call me a homer, call me what you want. But the proof is in the stats. The proof is in when you watch them, the eye test for anyone in the National Hockey League. Both of those guys should be on the team.
Albie, have a good one today, pal. All right, it's starting soon here.
Yeah, see you soon. Can't wait to come over to the house for some Greek food when I get back to TL.
All right, buddy. Anytime, my friend. Alan May, everybody. Monumental
Thanks, Alan.
Analyst for the Washington Capitals.
Good stuff. I love having Alan on. He gives an opinion. He really feels strongly about the game being played a certain way, and I have so much respect for that. And obviously, he's done it for a long time and seen it.
Tom Wilson, man, I want him on team. I want to root for this guy.
Yeah, I just got to say, this whole generation's love of Tom Wilson's a little gross, but I do love Tom Wilson.
No, I'm
like
He's the only one that can hurt you.
In any way.
Really on a nothing check.
Yeah.
He can hurt you. He can knock people out of the game.
And thinking
I love
back
that player.
to the
I
Four
love the guy.
Nations, not having Wilson when you've got Konechny or you've got Jarvis or you've got, it's like, all right, that would have been the guy.
Those are...
Imagine him chucking bombs with... I don't think he would have been.
We missed that window.
The two guys...
Bang! Come on, man.
One of them is Tom Wilson that they cannot deny. They just can't keep him off. And the other one now is Logan Thompson. He is
totally
a lock. There were some issues, behavior issues off the ice.
Is that right?
Yeah. In the past. But there's been a level of maturity that you got to give him the benefit of the doubt now.
Yeah.
That there's whatever happened in the past on past teams and maybe even chalk it up to immaturity.
Yeah.
But there's some growth there. There is some growth there. And I think that there's been enough time between then and now where you got to go back and say, this guy's earned a spot on this team.
Yeah.
And we got to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's grown up.
And he's had some comments. He said he had a conversation with Kyle Dubas and that everything's sort of sorted out. Whatever frustration was lingering from not being on the Four Nations team.
Yeah, but he's got to take ownership. That's the most important thing, is you take ownership for your behavior in the past, and you have done everything you can to rectify it.
Hey, I want to get your opinion on this. So some random Sabres fan yesterday tweeted, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen out at the bar, fresh off the plane. It's like 10 to 1 a.m. There's a picture of Luukkonen. There's actually a video of him. He went to whatever bar in Buffalo.
Damn phones.
I think it's called 40 Thieves is the name of the bar.
They just lost in Pittsburgh or something.
I've never been there.
Flew home after the game.
Yeah.
He gets off the plane, and so he went to the bar.
Yeah.
I think there's two things here, which is like, this is none of our business, right? People have their lives, how they live their lives. It's not illegal to go to the bar and have a beer when you're home or whatever. But on the other hand, like, I guess they had just lost, and Luukkonen.
Did they play the next night?
I don't know.
It would have been the Wednesday night.
Was there
Before
a day?
Thanksgiving.
Was there a day off?
It would have been the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving.
Was there a day off?
Yes, there was a day off. Yeah,
What's the big deal?
you're right. But I am curious what you
I'm not going
think.
to throw stones from my glass house, boys.
Grown man wants to go and have a
Totally.
beer. Leave him alone.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
what I say.
But it's going to be interesting, as this is more of a feature of society, that these guys who want to go out and we become aware of things via these weird sources. And, it's going to be interesting to see if people's reputations get hurt by that.
If I was Pekka Luukkonen, I'd be like, AI. Wasn't me.
Listen, you the only time
Trump
the only time
Wasn't
you're
AI.
Shaggy, actually. That's the Shaggy defense.
the only time you're on your own is
Wasn't me.
the only time that, hey, like, all bets are off night before a game.
Right. Otherwise, it's fine.
Bets are on.
That's it, right? You're not giving yourself a chance. Can't show up. Can't show up a night before the game with people thinking that there's still alcohol in your
Right.
system. I'm
So
sorry. but
I'm totally with you and on all that. But I do think it affects how you feel about a guy if you know that some guys are like, just play the game, go home, get to bed, whatever. And you find out that guys are more prone to being like, he's a going out type. I think it does change how people will feel about.
I think you're allowed. I mean, when you're going out there, the internet's a different place, but you're going out in Buffalo.
Yeah.
People are probably going to know who
You're
you
not at
are
a
in general.
private establishment, right.
Word's going to get out that you were out. Like, I don't know.
I prefer if I heard like 6 of them were together.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's like a
Than
whole group as opposed
by
to one guy.
yourself.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world that you were by yourself. But sometimes it's good that you guys are sticking together too.
I don't know if he was by himself,
I might have been with some friends of some kind.
but he wasn't with teammates.
Hey, Sammy,
friend or two,
Sammy,
perhaps?
Sammy, I'm not as TMZ as you right now.
Listen, I'm not TMZ. I didn't bring it up.
I didn't bring it up.
What's wrong with bringing it up?
Oh, guy
okay.
can't have a beer. Oh, boys, this is really exciting for me. It's Leafs game day, and that means you can score a Popeyes chicken sandwich
Yes.
for only $6 in classic or spicy. Make it your new game day tradition. Get your $6 chicken sandwich at a Popeyes near you. I love Popeyes.
Love running this by my wife, being like, Leafs game day, we need another spicy chick.
There's a Popeyes in the corner of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I gotta make a quick
They got
stop
your picture
before I
on the
head
wall?
home. Yeah.
No longer
Hall of
serve this
Fame.
guy.
We had a bet that you were going to forget to read that.
No, I wouldn't forget Popeyes.
No.
Come on.
Just
Oh,
the
gosh.
children's charity forgets.
Yes, that's right. Sick kids. Hey, they're no chicken sandwich, those sick kids.
Enough.
Right?
Enough. That's enough. That is enough. I've had enough of you two. Let's go to break and then we'll do the Leafs line.
All right, what do we got? Leaf line?
Yeah, we got Leaf line.
We got any sound at all?
No, it's
Oh,
Friday.
hey, I'm
The
just
sound
asking.
is the Leafs line.
Well, the sound, they haven't addressed the media yet.
Oh,
We played
okay.
all the sound from yesterday.
We have
They're-
someone from
I
Prague.
thought maybe by 5 we could have had something this morning come in. No, nothing.
It's 2:25 p.m. So Or 2:29, not 5.
I don't know if they maybe just came to the rink at 10:30 or 11. They didn't even do that.
Not only does he not have sound, he didn't get your request that you asked for at 1:59:30 today for the 2 o'clock show.
Just want to see how
What
good
are
of
you
a
doing?
how good of a producer is he?
Not good.
Not good at all.
We've established that.
Well, it could get worse with our leaf line. We'll have to wait and see. More when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne.
What would you say
Yeah.
you do here?
Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Real Kyper and Bourne show. Got my alumni game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really.
My wife's going.
You
gotta
should be
score a goal-
napping
gotta
right
score-
now.
gotta
I
score
should
a-
be napping. I should have had a pregame meal. The show's really
Messing up your
cramping my pregame routine.
You know what, though? It's like all you have done is be a hockey player your whole life. It's all in here. You don't need the physical machine to do much. You just get around with this thing up there.
So
You're
you
fine.
got is your gear on down there already?
It's in the
Hanging
car.
in the stall?
Oh, it's
No,
in the
it's in the
car.
car.
Are you gonna take the subway down like Willie?
No, I'll drive
Okay.
and just park there.
Oh yeah, I guess you probably have an alumni parking spot.
They'll
eh?
be parking. Yeah, I
And
hope
In the
Kypreos,
building.
they'll be parking.
And Kypreos.
right beside
Yeah.
Kay Pelly.
I got my so I'm dressed casual, no shirt and tie at
Yeah.
the game. I got my easy
There's no
Monday.
dress code anymore.
Oh,
I got my Jeremy Easy Monday look.
Jeremy Easy Monday. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Jeremy
Right?
Logan, what's up?
Yeah. Are you? He's got a event tomorrow
Yeah.
from 12 to 4. Did you get invited to
I
Jeremy's
did
event?
get invited. I saw that there's that blazer in new colors and
Oh
new hoodie that I really like.
Oh my
Looking
Lord.
sharp though, eh? I
You-
may not play sharp.
you
but I'm
always look
looking
good.
sharp.
Who wants to win a bunch of cash while doing the best thing this holiday season? Sportsnet 590 fan is all in supporting the 50-50 fortune for sick kids. It's a 50-50, so the more money we raise, the more kids we can help, and the more holiday cash you can win. The current take-home prize is a guaranteed $173,000. Buy your tickets at 5050fortune.ca or text the word money to 590-590, and we'll send the link right to your phone. 18 plus, please play responsibly. Standard message and data rates may apply. Lottery license RAF 1518410. See, I do care.
You do.
Nice
You
work.
care a
Sam.
lot.
Nice work.
Almost as good as Disco
The chicken
Dan.
read.
Yeah, the chicken read. The chicken day. What was I going to say? Do you want to talk about the Oilers? Do you want to do the Leafs?
No. Yeah, let's just.
No.
Well, we'll get into that a little later.
Okay. Sounds good.
They're hurt.
Let's just stay
Save the
stay with the program here.
All right. Let's start.
Leafs
with
line. We need like a Leafs line theme song that kicks it off.
Leafs line. Do-do-do-do, Leafs line. Do-do-do-do.
Just play what Sam just did on loop from now.
Let's start with. Oh, let's go back to Jeremy in Dallas.
Oh, torn to smithereens for saying that the Leafs shouldn't deploy Matthews like Barkov. Called drunk by Doug McLean, although, I kind of felt better about my take after he didn't like it. Bourne, I hear you. Matthews' takeaways, hits per 60, all those things are down, and maybe that's part of the evidence that shows that he's a different player. So I got a question for you, though. If that's the case for him, what's the excuse for the other core four last season? Their takeaway and giveaways and hits per 60 were brutal last year. Absolutely brutal. And you talked about a coaching change. I don't see how some of this evidence points to that. Maybe Matthews is hurt. Maybe he's not the same. But go look at those other guys and their takeaway and giveaway and hits per 60. It was really bad last year. Anyways, if you guys want to crap on this take, you can. But I'd really love an answer to that question and how it's not coaching.
I'll take a crack at it.
Please.
Whether we're talking about the core four or the core three now,
The
they're
key
ju-
three.
they're just the wrong guys together.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
So it's not coaching. It's their personalities. The fact that not one of those guys can play like I can go around you or I can go through you. Not one. They all wanted to go around you. And it was just time to let go of that. So if it was Marner out first, doesn't mean that you've completely solved the problem here because, Matthew Nyes should be that guy that can go, I'm going through you. But it's unfortunate that he doesn't, as we have stressed, doesn't necessarily have that Tom Wilson personality.
Or
Is it not-
or durability.
Is it not becoming clear, though, how rare and valuable the trait of an intrinsic drive is. Like just these guys who just want it and passion and care. Like that trait is becoming harder to find in the NHL. And if I may, I have a theory on this. Hockey used to be, my dad grew up, not a ton of money on a farm, right? There's a lot of boys from old farm boys with good work ethics and all that. And today, your parents are spending $20,000 a year to play AA hockey or whatever it is.
Buddy.
North.
Cheap.
Yeah,
20,000.
Okay.
North.
Cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cheap.
more. So no one's coming from a family that's struggled, who's in the NHL now. And there's a lot less guys who it's life and death for.
It's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
It's just a
Can't-
rare trait in the NHL today where
can't-
everyone's a bunch of yuppie families. And
I don't want peace. I
Can't,
want problems always.
there's nothing that you could question or knock on what you just said.
awesome. It
Right?
doesn't solve
And I'm
anyone's
so
problem, I
happy
guess.
I didn't have to say it. Someone much younger said it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But as the kids would say, there are a lot less dogs than there used to be in terms of
Yes.
guys with got that dog in them. It really is a lot.
And they
And
don't
so
have
the
they
guys
don't have a
with-
dog.
The guys with the highest dog per 60 in the league are now
On
the
the
most
Panthers.
valued. They're on the Panthers.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But we've talked about Easton Cowan. Like one of the things we all kind of
Yeah.
like is like he kind of plays.
He's not
with
going to
that.
hurt anybody, though.
He's a
He's
bit of
not
a-
going
bit of
to
a puppy
run
dog.
anybody
No,
over.
He's a puppy
But
at this
he has
point,
the
but
drive.
he's got a bit of a
Right?
dog.
No,
if
he's
you
got
can
an
get-
engine.
If you could put that inside a larger animal,
Yes. Yeah.
you get Tom
But-
Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah. But,
The
I
Theme
mean,
of the day.
Matthew Nye's at 225 or 230 who can skate like that.
Just
And even
an
Bobby
actual
McMahon.
refrigerator.
Bobby McMahon has that element of that physical presence.
There was 3 games this year,
He
boys.
just-
He was their enforcer. He was fighting every game there
But
for a little bit.
it's like pulling teeth to get him to
Yeah.
do it, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also want him to use a shorter hockey stick. Him and Nick Robertson. Do you ever notice how long Bobby McMahon's stick is?
Haven't had a look at his stick.
Watch today. You'll be like, that's too much hockey stick.
Okay.
All right,
Can't
hopefully
handle
we
anything
answered
close.
something for Jeremy.
Let's go to Luis in Moncton.
I just read something where if the Leafs, were to release Craig Berube at the end of the year, as I've heard rumors that could be happening, and the name that they were mentioning was Pete DeBeers. What do you guys think about that? That man scares me. I know he's got a ton of experience. I know he's gone to conference finals and stuff, but there's just something about the way he coaches that scares me. What are your thoughts?
Wow.
Love the show. Welcome back, Sammy.
Oh, thanks, Luis. Appreciate it.
Love the take. Good to have a take.
I think exactly what she said there is why they should hire him if they were ever to fire Craig Berube.
Why?
Scary. They need to be scared. It's like I thought Berube was scary, and he's been like kind of nice throughout his time here. And this DeBeer, as I'm calling him now,
DeBeers.
That's what I would call myself
DeBeer.
if I were drinking and I were him. Like, oh, Pete DeBeer's out.
Pete's on DeBeers.
That's way better.
Thank you. I get what she's saying.
Yeah.
There's a certain part of him where it's like he's the type of player that's going to make somebody cry. Any type of coach is going to make a player
So
cry.
there's no question that his record is amongst the best in the history of the game for a coach who's
Never made a final.
never won a Stanley Cup, of course, and a
Paul
final.
Maurice hadn't until
right?
2 years ago.
But there's also an element that I look at, and he got fired. What's the main reason why he got fired out of Dallas?
Did he do a mean thing to his
He didn't.
goalie once?
No, he was a meanie to somebody. Real meanie.
Jake
Ottinger? Yeah.
Ottinger,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
What happened again? It was pretty bad.
well, he
Told
just
him, and he said he
challenged
wasn't
him,
good.
buddy. He just challenged him.
Oh, right. It wasn't that bad.
No.
Yeah, you're
He was
right.
like, yeah, we need him to stop the puck.
So you're wondering now, like, is that just the new world here of coaching? And, even Craig Berube's reputation for being this, at times, hard ass, and we haven't seen it because the world's changed on the coaches.
You're saying he can't do it anymore.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying they don't really want to do it.
Mhm.
So Pete DeBoer's challenged Jake Ottinger to be better. At the end of the day, he said, listen, you weren't good enough to beat the Edmonton Oilers. And I don't know, as a general manager or an owner, you go, we just signed him to 6 years or 7 years. He's got 6 or 7 years left on whatever max deal that Ottinger signed, right? We're not getting rid of him. We're not trading him. He's pissed off at you. You're easier to get rid of than him.
Get in a room and have De Beers.
Right?
Get on De Beers.
But if that's what people are looking for out of coaches today, I don't know if coaches can easily get there anymore. They're either worried about the player outlasting them, like Jake Ottinger did on Pete.
Yeah.
Or, you know what else, boys? They get to call the hotline.
What's the hotline?
Oh, you know about the hotline. You got a problem with anything, you call the hotline.
The NHL hotline?
Is it a lot like the Leafs line?
Coaches
Yeah, there's a hotline out there for the players.
Could you imagine if
you get
found
yelled
out?
at, you get, anything issues well beyond what you think is the scope of crossing the line, you get to call a hotline.
Could you
Is that
imagine
true?
if you found out that your teammate called the hotline?
Did you know that?
There's yes, I did know that there's like,
I didn't know that.
but it's for like reporting abuse and stuff, isn't it? Like I didn't think it was like for.
But you can call the hotline anytime you want.
I wonder who's on the other end of that hotline.
Kyper.
I think it's Bill Daly.
I don't know. That's
I don't
interesting.
know. I don't know. All I know is you got issues with anybody in any organization, you can make a call.
The hotline.
The hotline. Let's go to the hotline right now.
I wish I had a hotline back then. Oh, my God.
Keenan gonna get a call from the hotline.
Oh,
Keenan might have got a few summons.
there would have been the other
to
person on the
Kangaroo
hotline going, oh, my. Can we get Keenan out of the game?
It would have been called the lava line with Keenan. Doug from the Philippines. Doug from the Philippines. International.
The question
Doug
is,
McLean?
No.
if a guy goes on long-term IR and decides he wants to play on the Olympic team, can he do that? Then when he comes back, go back on long-term IR? I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's
Anyway, thanks very much.
there's a good
And
either
go
a
Leafs
chicken
go.
or a tropical
Bye-bye.
bird in the background of that. Can we play that one little part there again, Derek?
What's in
I'm
the
not sure.
background in the Philippines here?
anyway, thanks very much. Go
Oh,
back
no.
on long-term IR.
What is that?
I'm not,
Sound like a tropical bird or a chicken or
It's calling the hotline in the background.
He's getting ready for dinner.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I never thought of that.
Well,
Or
you
a cat, Derek says.
you could. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't, but your team would be like, you're on LTIR.
Well,
you're
first
not
of all,
playing.
it's supposed to be like on the honor system. So if you're off of it, it means you're healthy, and if you go back on it, it means either there's a new injury or there's something new that's popped back up, or your reoccurring injury has crept up on you. But like that stuff, they watch that stuff all the time. You just can't just.
So you couldn't do it.
I don't think you can do
I
what
think your
he's
team
suggesting, and that's
would let you.
manipulate it.
Your team would be like, if you're good enough to play, then we're taking you off LTIR and you're playing. Like
Let's go to Jason in Prague.
from all over the
I
world.
heard Kyper the other day talking about wanting more callers in, maybe from overseas, so I thought I'd give it a try again. I wanted to ask a question for Kyper about his brief stint with the Leafs. If you had any great stories about Pat Burns, because he was obviously my favorite coach growing up as a young guy. That series against the Kings when he was going at it with Barry Melrose is unforgettable. And I also wanted to ask Kyper who was tougher, him or Ken Baumgartner, the bomber back in the day, one of my favorite players. So thanks very much, guys. That Terry Ryan stuff yesterday was awesome. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
People love that Terry Ryan interview.
I got
by the
so
way.
many messages.
Yeah.
Everyone I spoke to loved it.
I did fight Baumgartner at Maple Leaf Gardens, and you can go Google it right now. At the end of the day, I'm fighting a mountain of a man.
Big
I
fella.
hung in there as long as I could, and then he started wailing on me, and I'm like, oh, get in here, please.
That's
But
takes chutzpah.
tell you what, my buddies loved it. Loved it. Started off of a offensive zone face-off,
Yeah.
and then we just took it right to center ice.
Oh, that's awesome. Good on you.
Anyways, Pat Burns, unfortunately, I was really looking forward to Pat Burns because, the Leafs had already gone to a couple of conference finals, and, he had superstar status along with Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark. Like, he was the coach, right? He was the guy. But unfortunately, when I got traded there, it was on, like, the down side of it. And in many ways, he had already quit in his mind. It was just a matter of time before getting fired.
You're chucking. Chucking Nucks? That's you.
Chucking Nucks.
5 minutes for chucking Nucks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's a great fight. I loved how that started.
Yeah.
Your eagerness to get to center is my favorite part.
Yes.
God, I love the tax.
Yes. Maple Leaf
Look at
Gardens. Come on.
Look at the skate to get out to center.
Can
Anyway.
we let us play this? Can we get this?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways.
Okay. Jake says
Sorry to
so
interrupt.
all I remember is, within a very short period of time, coming to morning practice and just Pat Burns on the board. Boys, wish you the best of luck. Gone.
Wow.
And I think our good buddy Scott Morrison broke the story first because somehow he either saw the message on the board or someone told him about the message of the board. Maybe he left it the night before or something. And then Nick Beverly came in as a scout at the time that just took over the bench.
I added one late here. It's something South Florida. Is it Todd in South Florida?
Hold on. My dad has a Pat Burns story. He coached him. No, Pat Quinn. Different.
Okay, let's hear the Pat Quinn, though. I want to hear it.
Well, just that he was, talking a giant, strong, big man of a coach and intimidating as all hell when they were at the Kings. And one time, the old Gatorade cooler toss that coaches would do, having a little temper tantrum, came in and went to pick one up, gave it the full toss. No one realized till it hit the ground, actually a full Gatorade cooler, and the man strong enough to just, with anger and size, throw a full Gatorade cooler.
That's strong.
That's enough to be intimidated if your coach would be like, I'm going to fall in line.
Okay, here's my Pat Quinn story.
Stud. My favorite coach of all time.
We're playing in the Pacific Coliseum at the time, right? And the two benches are beside each other. So I take out Greg Adams with a dirty knee, really bad. And he's one of his favorite players,
Good Okanagan
25, 30 goal scorer. And it's the end of the game. So go to Mike Richter. I think we won that game. And I look at the benches because we got to go to the bench to go back into our dressing room. And the Canucks are off the ice. And I see Pat Quinn standing at the door. It's open, and he's standing at the door. And I'm like, hey, Ricky, I'm going to come back and pat you on the head again. And then I look, and Pat Quinn's still there. And I'm like, Ricky, let me just pat you on the head again. And I'm waiting him out.
Yeah.
And he won't budge. And I let everybody go off the ice, and he's waiting for me now. Right?
Okay.
And then I see the Zamboni doors still open, and I went to the dressing room through the Zamboni entrance.
That's incredible. You ever talk to him about it?
No.
No.
I'm not
he
doing that.
hated me.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Hated me.
Smart call. He might have grabbed you on the way by.
Sparks flying from the cement on my skates. No problem at all.
Someone will fix this.
I'll
Not my
get
problem.
new skates before I and listen, he's a mountain of a man, like you said.
One of the most iconic hits in NHL history,
Him on
Bobby
Bobby
Orr.
Orr. Oh.
Hammered him.
Pat Quinn hour.
Love Pat Quinn. Dan Robson's book on Pat Quinn is fantastic if you ever get a chance.
Are we done?
We're done.
Already?
Yeah, we got to go. Well, we got
how many more hours
an hour and a half still, but we're
Jerry
getting there.
Lewis telethon here?
Yeah, that's a very up-to-date reference.
All right. Okay, is it a new one?
Is there a new telethon I can reference?
Yes. I'm old.
I don't know if there is.
Okay. When we return, I have no idea what we're doing.
David Amber may be on the phone.
David Amber.
Right.
What a show. More when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. It's the National Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, Jake the Snake Schultz. We're live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Always an option for you all. Text us at 590-590. We'll get to them later on in the show. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365.
After DA, we will get to some texts.
That DA is David Amber, studio host, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet, and I don't know, probably on his last curl at the gym.
I don't know what's going on with David. I mean, I think he's been sick. Listen,
something's going around. Because Mike Fuda, of course,
Hughes has been like sick.
Yeah, he had
been sick too,
pneumonia.
And now I know
I didn't have that.
And
I had a man.
we saw him today earlier. Glad to see he's feeling a lot better.
And saw Ted
Very
Nolan
nice
today.
Cardigan. Yeah, Ted Nolan.
Nice to meet him.
Yes.
Very cool. He was the Islanders coach when I was at camp there. Got to learn some good things from him. He was a great guy.
I told him the story that we talked about with Ryan Getzlaff when at the Easter Seals event.
Yeah.
About the 2014 Olympics when he was coaching Latvia, and they did this incredible set play.
Yeah.
Where they sent
The lacrosse play.
They sent the guy out on the change and hit him with a perfect breakaway pass, and he did a fake clapper backhand top corner on Carey Price. The Canada won that game 2-1. Their goalie made like 56 saves. It was unbelievable.
Latvia's a highlight of Latvia's hockey career. He
So
told me they
Seinas Oslund was on that team back in the dart while he played hockey.
On the topic of maybe Foots being under the weather the last little while, is the news out of Washington, Sammy, that Willie Nylander is under the weather. He will not play in a few hours for the Maple Leafs.
He missed practice yesterday, maintenance.
Yeah.
Good to go today, said the coach.
He's good to go?
That's what the coach said yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you mentioned maybe he's out of the lineup today.
But I'm just saying that it was mentioned yesterday that he's going to be good to go.
Okay, all right.
And then today he is, in
following.
fact, not good to go.
Okay. So that just came down.
ocular migraine.
We had spoken that maybe Max Domi, it was looking like maybe he would have been out of the lineup, but clearly they're going to have to not only put him in, but count on him in a top six scenario here.
Yeah. The Dakota Joshua is drawing back in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I haven't heard who else is drawing in, but the way it looks right now, you wouldn't need Domi might still be out, right? Nyes, Matthews, Robertson, Cowan, Tavares, Nylander, Joshua, Waugh, McMahon, Lorentz, Lawton, Yarncroc.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So maybe
Michelli out.
Yeah.
And Nylander out.
And Domi out. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he'll draw in if.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I read it with Nylander in.
Yes.
You're right. You're
Yes.
right. I'm
Yes.
dumb. You're smart.
It's okay. It's
I'm
all
an
right.
idiot. You're cool. I get it.
Hey, can we save that clip there, Derek?
Did you want to mention the Oilers?
Yeah, they were also hurt at a tough time. This is similar to what the Leafs went through when things were going bad. They took some blows here. Jack Roslovic out for what could be a couple of weeks.
Been so good.
17 points in 22 games. He's been really good for them.
I watch a lot of
Kapanen.
Oilers
Yeah.
because Schadenfreude and Misery Loves Company. He was like hugely important
He's
to them.
been
He was
all over the
playing in every big situation. He scored multiple not playoff yet, multiple overtime winners.
Mhm.
Like he's been really good for them. So that's a big blow. Kapanen, but I think they're getting Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back maybe tonight or tomorrow. So.
And someone else maybe hurt too. Anyway,
Wallman.
Wallman, right? Wallman out for an undisclosed amount of time. I know that we're doing kind of non-specific directional things.
Yeah,
here.
whatever you want to do.
Is this my window to bring something up with Kip?
Yes.
Kip, we've recently been talking about overtimes and the problem with it and how it's been slow and painful and get rid of it and yada, yada. I got a thoughtful note from someone who was talking about something you'd be familiar with, which is when there was just ties. Games just ended in ties and how bad that made the end of games for bad teams. And the reference I got was like the Colorado Rockies were terrible. And so if they were tied in the third period, it was like,
hold on for dear life.
Hold on, you ice the puck because there's no punishment then. Remember you used to hold the puck against the boards?
Oh,
just pin it for long periods of time?
Guys are just jackknife the stick.
And how that, wasn't great either.
Yeah.
And so, kind of looking for a solution to that, and that brought overtime
The
into
glass
the league.
was actually so short, they grab.
You could hold on.
They grab the glass.
By the way,
top of the glass.
in this note, follow-up side note, did you know your dad scored the first regular season overtime goal in NHL history?
Who?
An 8-7. My dad. An 8-7 win over the Caps, apparently. First OT winner in league history.
Are you kidding me?
Did you have the puck?
I don't know. I just found out this morning.
That's unbelievable. What a stat.
It's kind of a cool thing. But anyway, the point was that OT didn't used to be, OT wasn't good either.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I do believe that what we need to focus on is changing the environment around the play instead of changing the play.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the answer is. 3 points, 2 points, 1 point.
Absolutely. God, it's so easy.
How about awarding a half a point if you're leading, with 10 minutes to go and you close out the game? I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me,
A half a point.
I'm throwing stuff out there that instead of actually
want people to
changing
play.
the game, don't change the game, leave it alone. Make a few adjustments to the point systems, whatever it may be.
3-2-1-0 is it.
To reward
Regulation wins.
better behavior in that area.
I saw them talking about this on the very good Wingmen podcast.
Oh, did they? If I sort the league by regulation wins, the Avalanche have 16 regulation wins in 23 games. They're first in the league, 17-1-5. The next highest team has 12 in 24 games. So the second best team in the league has only won 12 of their 24 games in regulation.
That's not right.
It ain't right.
Okay, let's welcome in David Amber, studio host of Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet, and a very, very close and personal friend of the real Kyper and Bourne show. DA, how are you, my friend?
How are you guys doing?
Good. Before we get into, what the heck's going on with Canadian teams, can we pick up this conversation on overtime with you? And in terms of what you see, and is this a growing concern before we start hearing that it's at the top of the agenda for GMs and board of governors to fix this thing? Like, how urgent is it becoming now, watching overtime and teams manipulating almost half the time of it with regroups?
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to change the point system, and I like the fact you guys are throwing out some ideas because it's just so hard. And here's the funny thing: there's so much parity in the league, right? And we're looking, and you say, "Wow, Toronto's near the bottom in their conference," but they're 10 points out of first or 9 points out of first. Like, it's so jammed between from the top to the bottom, and picking up points is so difficult because so many games. I don't know if I wasn't listening right at the beginning. Do you guys give the percentage of games that are going to overtime this year?
No, go ahead.
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's 20%.
And what's it usually?
I actually, to be honest, I have no idea what it usually is. I just read that in an article this morning.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many 3-point games. It's really, really tough to gain leverage. And I think the simplest math would be 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win. And maybe that's it, right? 3 for an overtime win and 2 for 3 for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, and I don't even know if you give the loser point out anymore. So you can get a separation there. You know what I mean? Where you can then really have teams who are winning games be rewarded, not just you lost the game, we're going to give you a point, the loser point. Which seems kind of crazy to give out points when teams are losing. So there just needs to be a better mathematical system in place, I think. And Kipper's point about the manipulating overtime. I mean, I remember Brian Burke saying, there should be some rule where you have to pass center and you can't retreat on your own side of center ice, and you have to have a shot. He was trying to say this 10 years ago. He's like, we need a shot clock. If you don't put a shot on net in 20 seconds, you lose possession. I'm like, well, how's that going to work? He thought, I don't know, we'll have to figure that out.
The last thing we need is to make these kids think any more than they have to. It'd be like watching wood burning on the ice. Like did we regroup twice? Do we have to do it a third time? I forgot. Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Do I need to watch a shot clock while I'm getting my head ripped off? I mean, please. I think it's absolutely crazy to think that we're going to start tweaking this thing to the point where we believe it's that important, yet we laugh at it if it ever was considered for the playoffs. You know what I mean?
What about one simple rule? You cross center ice with possession. You can't go back across center ice. So it just forces you to be moving forward. Kind of like a shootout. Like, you're going to go across center ice. You have the puck. You can't willingly bring it back the other way. The only problem is then what happens? They blow the whistle, and like this is the thing. That's the last thing anyone wants to see is a bunch of stop and go. So it's tough, but I think there's some things they've got to tweak and work on for sure.
Yeah, that's it's definitely slowed down.
Okay. Before I want to get into details of what you think maybe across the country, what is it like now sitting beside you every night watching Canadian teams like not doing as well as like I've had the privilege of watching games with you. I do know you're emotionally attached to a lot of this. I mean, is it tough these days being
why
David?
His immune system's breaking down. He's emotionally fragile.
Is it tough being David Amber right now and watching Canadian teams struggle?
Well, I think I can link my sickness right now to the performance of the Canadian teams potentially. I don't know. It's all going hand in hand. It hasn't been a good start, fellas. We know that. Having said that, Brady Tkachuk is returning tonight for Ottawa. The Leafs are getting healthier. We've seen that. Montreal's coming off a big win a few nights ago. Calgary is playing much better. I'm really looking for some silver linings here.
Oh, come on. What are you doing?
You're using Craig Berube's glass right now.
Well, yeah, I know it's been a rough start. Listen, the Elliott Friedman 77% of teams on American Thanksgiving who aren't in a playoff spot, or 77% of teams who are in a playoff spot on the American Thanksgiving make the playoffs. I think this is the year that's going to be a total anomaly. I think it's going to be, closer to 60% or 65%. And what I mean by that is just I see a handful of teams that currently aren't holding down a playoff spot in both the East and the West making the playoffs. And all that is to say is there's incredible parity, which goes back to our last conversation. And the Canadian teams are part of that. I mean, the idea that Edmonton and Winnipeg aren't going to make the playoffs, I have a hard time believing that, right? And, and even the Leafs, for that matter, I think have definitely a distinct chance, despite the fact they've played, pretty poorly so far this year. It's a weird listen, the Canadian teams, it's been rough. But Kipper, we've been through this before. We all remember, second year of the Sportsnet deal, not a single Canadian team made the playoffs. There was another year, I think the fourth year. Yeah, the fourth year, I think one Canadian team made the playoffs, and we had no Canadian teams in the final eight. We've been spoiled in the last, handful of years with a lot of Canadian teams and Oilers being in back-to-back Cup finals. I'm still holding out hope we have a Canadian team that can make a deep run, and I'm still holding out hope that, we might not get 5 Canadian teams into the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. That might be asking a lot, but I still would like to think there's going to be 4.
Are you more? I shouldn't even compare teams. I guess what is going on with Edmonton here for you? I've watched many of their games this year. They are pretty similarly built. Everyone's making ruckus about the goaltending, but it doesn't seem like they should be this much worse. We should be in their turnaround time after their usual slow start.
JB, what surprised me watching, they were the only game in town on Tuesday night versus Dallas, and that was horrific. I mean, they looked completely disinterested, and that it wasn't about giving up the first goal or giving up the second goal. It was that there was no pushback, no passion, no purpose in their play, and you're kind of going, "What the heck's going on here?" Right? And that surprised me, and that's what concerns me. And now Roslovic is out for several weeks. They've announced so. That's not good news. Roslovic's been one of their more consistent contributors, and it's been important for them to find their offense. So I'm a bit concerned about Edmonton. Whether a lot of people on the optimistic side of things says they're taking the same approach that the Florida Panthers take, right? Like they're taking the who cares where we finish? Just make the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, we're going to be a hard out, and it doesn't matter if we have to start on the road or not. And, history will show that 3 years ago, Florida was the 8th seed, made it to the Stanley Cup final. The Kings in 2014 were the 8th seed. St. Louis, when they won the Cup in 2019, I don't know what seed they were, but they, were last place in the NHL January 3rd. So there has been stories of teams having great success playoff-wise and not having great success in the regular season leading to that. So I'm not in panic mode, but the lack of interest with the Oilers in their performance and how they played, that shocked me a little bit on Tuesday. I'll say that was probably the worst I've seen. Like, it's on home ice, just total disinterest. With
the exception, of one has Bobrovsky and the other one has Skinner. And I agree with a lot of people out there, especially the word coming out of Edmonton and their dressing room DA is like, our issues are well beyond just our goaltender here. And of course, yeah, they're a mess defensively, and guys are having underwhelming years for sure on that blue line. But at this point, there's a few things they got to fix. But wouldn't you just start in net right now and just do whatever you can humanly possible to rectify a situation in net and get somebody else?
Well, what do you do, Kyper? That's the thing. Like, Saros, and how do you do Saros?
Binnington is the guy. Yeah, Binnington. Jordan, because St. Louis is vulnerable. They're not going to re-sign him to a long-term deal. He wants to play longer. Mm-hmm. There's a history, there's a chemistry with McDavid from Four Nations. He's considered a gamer. Like, if you're going to roll the dice on any goalie out there, I think it should be Binnington.
Yeah, it's funny that when we talk about whether it's the Leafs or the Oilers with, a chance to change the makeup of their lineup, of all the teams of the NHL, the Leafs and the Oilers, to me, are in the toughest spot because they don't have a lot of draft capital. They don't have a lot of top-end prospect capital. So then you're actually having to take players off your current roster to add a goaltender like Binnington. And I'm just wondering how they get it done. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just wondering how they get it done.
Well, you move Skinner's contract out at, I think, 2.5, if I'm not mistaken. And then you gotta say goodbye to a guy like Adam Henriques at $3 million, and that'll open up room.
And you think St. Louis would do that? They're going to trade Binnington?
Well, I don't think that. I think that's just you may have to move Henriques somewhere else, but the easiest way to kind of free up your cap is around that $3 million range. Go look at the guys that are expendable right now, making $3 million around the league. He's the one guy that I picked out of their lineup. I don't know if St. Louis takes him or you ship him off somewhere else, but that's some cap freedom right there. And then there's no world where you bring another goalie in and you keep Skinner, right? It's just it's over. Let the guy go somewhere else. And I think St. Louis would be happy to get out of Binnington's contract again for next year, knowing that there's a major rebuild and they've got other goalies now that they're looking at moving forward. I think it's possible.
That's interesting. It's funny. I'll go back to Tuesday's game again. Skinner got pulled after allowing 4 goals in the first period. He made the save. He made the initial save on 3 of the 4 goals, and Bouchard and Kulak, et cetera, were standing there letting guys get rebounds, getting beat to the positioning, not getting their stick in the right lanes, and they were tapping second chance goals. So, and I'm not letting Skinner off the hook by any means, but my point is I do think when you said there's been a lot of defensive breakdowns, there really have been a lot of defensive breakdowns, and the goaltending's been poor to say the least, but it's going to take more than Jordan Binnington with how the defense is played in front of Skinner for this to really turn around, in my opinion. But at least with a guy like Binnington, maybe there's that greater level of confidence, essentially.
What were your thoughts when you heard that Vancouver was putting a bunch of their veterans on the trading block? Kind of the opposite of Calgary, where they have come out and said, we're going in a different direction. Even though in Calgary people think they should, in Vancouver, they've decided that this is going to happen.
Yeah, my God, it's November.
Right, it's early.
I mean, my first thing, guys, I said is what does this mean for Quinn Hughes? Like, they have this world talent. They have this elite top player, top 5-6 player in the world talent in Quinn Hughes. What does this mean? How many guys are moving, and how are they going to facilitate this? And how is this going to keep, what's going to be the foundation that's left afterwards? So that to me really kind of opened up like, wow, what's happening here? If everyone's on the block and everyone's available to be moved, and what does that mean for Quinn Hughes? Because to me, that's the number one thing. Because if they're going to move a bunch of veterans, I can't imagine Quinn Hughes is going to be sitting there and going, okay, great, this is what I'm signed up for. I'm going to sign up for more years of it. So that to me is the only real big conversation that needs to have to take place. And, there's all this smattering of, well, he wants to join his brothers in New Jersey and da-da-da. They've got to get to the bottom of that. They can't have that blow up in their face. Quinn Hughes could get a lot of return. So here's something, I was throwing this out there. Let me know what you guys think.
All right.
What if they, if they're gonna start shop around, guys, would you do Jesper Bratt and Simon Nemeth, the defenseman? I think he was taken second overall. He's scoring all these overtime goals.
Yes.
For Quinn Hughes.
I would do it running. I would pound the approved trade button as soon as they would let me.
For New Jersey or for
if I'm New Jersey, Quinn Hughes, the difference between a good D-man and Quinn Hughes is vast to me, DA.
Yeah.
And
fair.
I think Nemeth is.
And I'm squeezing more out of
bag of magic beans. Still.
I'm squeezing more out of New Jersey. I can tell you that. Two first round picks plus. I don't know about 5 pieces, Sammy, and 3 first rounders, but 2.
He's a fifth best player in the league.
I'm not arguing.
Players. I was just talking about the players in general, like Bratt, Nemeth, plus. Yeah, and if you got a couple other first round.
The answer is yes.
To me, yeah.
Because he's not staying.
It doesn't feel like he's staying. And if that's the case, and now you're actually saying, well, we're trading everyone, or we're not trading everyone, but we're open to moving whomever, then you're not even encouraging him to stay, right? 3 years ago, there was a reason for Quinn Hughes to stay. They were Game 7 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. There was a lot of promise in Vancouver. Last year was an unmitigated disaster, and this year has been pretty poor as well. So it's trending poorly. To me, that's the first conversation is about Quinn Hughes, and if he's not going to stay, then we need to leverage as much as we can to get in return for him.
There is a feeling like they'd like to get a few of these deals that end up being attention-seeking at the trade deadline out of the way sooner than later, so they could focus maybe on Quinn Hughes come as close as this year's trade deadline.
So make a few auxiliary moves earlier, and then at the trade deadline,
focus on that. You want to maximize the return on him and his present contract, I think. So that means that under the current contract, before he jumps to his $15 million or $17 million,
he's currently underpaid by $10 million a year. So,
but you want that in on this year's playoff run and next year's playoff runs, and Vancouver turns around and says, okay, then I get to really maximize now 4 or 5 pieces. At the end of the day, you're going to exclude a lot of teams from trading for him for max return because he wants to play with his brothers.
Yeah. I mean, it's complicated for sure, but I agree with what you're saying, Nick, in the sense that 2 playoff runs at his current salary cap hit is unbelievable. I mean, if Quinn Hughes gets traded to New Jersey, I imagine they become the Stanley Cup favorites, potentially. Sure. I mean, and that's not with disrespect to Colorado, but he is a difference maker. No player has the puck on their stick more in any game or during the course of the year than Quinn Hughes. He changes the whole flow and pace of the game, kind of like Cale Makar. And he, we all know how good he is. I'm just wondering if if they need to be more proactive, and it's not that they want to do it, but they can see the writing on the wall. If you're the Vancouver management, be as proactive as you can. And you're right. I think trading them in this calendar year with 2 playoff runs under this salary cap hit is a massive, massive benefit to whoever gets them.
It sure is, pal. Hey, listen, really appreciate you stopping by on this Friday for us. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, thanks, DA.
Thanks, fellas. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the games tonight.
David Amber, Hockey Night in Canada, NHL on Sportsnet.
So do you think Hughes would settle for being around his brothers? Like
Philly, New York.
I'm looking at the Rangers. The Rangers have 2 first-round picks in this upcoming draft.
Bears and
Carolinas, and they have their 27 and 28.
Keandre Miller.
Right. So they have 4 first-rounders in the next 3 years. The Rangers do. They're kind of doing a soft turnaround on things. I mean,
get to hang out still.
Can I remind you, Jimmy Rutherford last season
did the Miller
saying he said before he wants to play with his brothers. If you really want to go back to where this started unraveling, it was when Jimmy Rutherford publicly said he wants to play with his brothers.
He doesn't want to play near his brothers.
The wheels fell off.
But I mean, hold on.
City as his brother.
But hold on. You can't put it on Jim Rutherford. That's like saying
I'm not putting anything,
whoever reported the news made the news.
No.
That's a separate thing.
I believe that once you went public out there, then it has this effect on your whole organization.
I think
we've been talking about Quinn Hughes now since Jimmy Rutherford volunteered publicly the information that he wants to play with his brothers.
Yeah, because Jim's saying this guy wants to play with his brothers.
We love the, good for us.
Yeah.
Talk radio, talk podcasts. Jimmy, thanks. But I'm not sure how it benefited the organization by you coming out publicly and saying that he wants to play with his brothers.
I'm Monday's show. We're doing Quinn Hughes fake trades. I'm going to do it on Monday. For our national hours.
Philly has 4 first-rounders
He didn't
in the next
say,
3 years.
Yeah, to your point, though, he didn't say he wants to play around his brothers.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to play with his brothers.
How do you feel about the competitive, I don't know, like, are they then just content? We're all making 10 mil. We're with each other. We're happy. Like, we're pretty content with whatever happens. Maybe we'll get summers off. Or do you feel like,
maybe we'll go to steakhouses.
Like, if you're New Jersey, it's like, are we doing this for the right reasons?
Buddy, that's another conversation.
Well, I mean,
right?
Jack's, I think he went on a date with Tate McRae. He's doing just fine.
Well, their life's pretty good. But you have said before about players wanting to come to Toronto, and I've been like, oh, he's willing to take a pay cut to come here. But part of the reason you don't find that appealing is because that's the end goal. It's like, oh, I get to be in Toronto. I wanted to be at home. Now I get to be at home. Play in Toronto. Always wanted to wear the jersey. This is great.
Get to do it.
It's not necessarily like
get to be in the development
that's the best
staff.
chance for me to win a cup. It's like I just want to be home.
Yeah, like Gio works for the team now, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Like it's like you said that from the start. You're like, hey, he's coming here. He's going to sign us here. He's going to retire. He's going to work for the team. A lot of guys probably want to do that. I mean, was Chris Tanev going to work for the team? 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Muzzin works for the team. Yeah. Spezza works for the team.
This is the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to label everybody to sit there and say that it makes you soft. It makes you comfortable. It doesn't push you to win.
By the way,
Quinn Hughes
seeking comfort.
Quinn Hughes can go to New Jersey and, to your point, be a difference maker and help them win a Stanley Cup.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
And he strikes me as a driven guy. He doesn't strike me as a guy that is just looking for comfort.
Yeah.
He looks like his mission in life is to be one of the best players maybe in history. I don't know, but that guy, he can help you win a Stanley Cup.
The Isles
That's
have
the way New Jersey
4
looks at
first-rounders
it.
the next 3 years. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
Schaefer and
Hughes.
Oh my God! You never get to touch the puck.
Yeah,
it's like when they're on the ice, they have it. I mean, our boy Andy Strickland fired up the masses yesterday on his podcast.
Remind me what he said.
He's just like, he's gone.
He's gone. That's right.
Prepare for it. He's gone.
Everybody I talk to who I think are are in whatever inner circle you want to talk to. Listen, everybody's got a chance to change their mind.
Of course.
But everybody says the same thing. He's not going back.
No kidding, eh?
So until he says anything different, until he wakes up one morning and feels differently, changes his mind, which everybody has the right to do, then Vancouver's best to prepare to maximize a return for Quinn Hughes rather than in 2 years watching him walk out the door for nothing.
Well, and hey, if I can make Vancouver Canucks fans feel a little better.
Well, they're not listening today, so you're good.
You know, the whole misery loves company thing. These conversations are going to be happening in Edmonton and Toronto if
Totally.
they don't win some games.
Could happen this summer with McDavid. They missed the playoffs.
Matthews too.
Yeah, totally.
And it's a moving target. Nothing lives forever. Nothing stays forever. Yeah, that's the way it works.
What's Devin Cooley say? We're all going to die one day. Nothing matters.
Yeah.
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Which is very true in so many ways.
Very true.
It's game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Lots of action already done today. But
What do we got?
a few games starting at 3:30.
Tampa with a big win in Detroit.
Yeah, that's good for the Leafs. I know
Like Tampa's just going to win the division.
Yeah,
so
it's
you might as
fine.
well have Detroit stumble.
Detroit's-
They're now 10 points up out in the Leafs. I think that's
Yeah,
what David
but
suggested
the
in our talk.
the Red Wings are starting to stink. They've lost 3 in a row, right?
Yep.
And now they're back-to-back tomorrow, Boston.
Yep.
Anyways, action on the ice. A lot of games starting at 4 o'clock, including the Montreal Canadiens in Vegas for a 4:07 Eastern time puck drop. So a 1 p.m. puck drop in Vegas. Give me the Golden Knights. That's a weird puck drop time. Vegas, they would have been there yesterday. American Thanksgiving, they would have had the day off before getting there. I like the Golden Knights in that one at minus 200. Montreal, some young guys in that team probably had a good time yesterday at American Thanksgiving.
You think they went out?
But the sports books, football, that's a great day.
You're asking a Leaf lover to pick Montreal.
You're right.
Never going to happen.
And the Vancouver Canucks are in San Jose at 4 o'clock. Another early puck drop there at 107 local in San Jose. The San Jose Sharks are minus 105. Vancouver minus 115 on the other side. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, without William Nylander and Joseph Woll making his 6th straight start tonight, boys, the Toronto Maple Leafs are plus 140 underdogs against the Washington Capitals, minus 165 on the money line for the Caps. Leafs are in tough tonight, according to Bet365, and according to me, too.
Yeah.
That was game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's ever ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. And before we go to break, it's Leafs game day. So you can score a Popeyes chicken sandwich for only $6 in classic or spicy. I prefer the spicy.
Give me 3.
Make it
on the way to the game tonight.
Yeah, that'll get your feet going. Make it your new game day tradition. Get your $6 chicken sandwich at a Popeyes near you.
I believe in goal differential as a true teller of who's good and who's bad. 5 worst teams in the league. 3 of them are Canadian: Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton.
What's their number?
Edmonton's minus 18.
Oof.
St. Louis and Nashville
What are
dead
the
last. Minus a couple.
Okay.
I don't have it directly in front of me, but I have a
it's not
screenshot.
good.
The best teams in the league at 5-on-5. The Washington Capitals are in that group. It's Colorado, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Washington, Carolina. Those are 4 of the teams I think are the best in the league, and Washington. So Leafs in trouble.
They're in trouble tonight. I just should have gone Hill to beat tonight.
What's that?
Should have gone Hill.
The Leafs are actually minus 7, so not great.
Like what? Like this is Kipper said it yesterday. I think bit of a scheduled L here. Just put Hill to be in there and hope for the best. Try to get the 2 points on Saturday night. It's a kind of a.
They're fighting for every point right now, boy.
Although if they are able to pull it off, it would be
house money for Hill to be tomorrow.
Wow,
but house money Hill to be.
It would be. It would be maybe a season changer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it depends how it looks, I guess, right?
They're grasping for some sort of
can
route
Wall,
to grab as they slide down the
hill.
hill.
Can Wall give them another performance like he did in Columbus.
He sure better.
He's going to have to. And one more quick thing before we head to break. Like I said, William Nylander not playing tonight due to an illness. This is from yesterday. Berube assures Nylander will play Friday. He was at the rink and in great spirits today. So.
Well, there's stuff going around. Things are happening.
I don't know a lot.
I
disconnect. That's what that sounds like.
Did you send our chat, group chat, something on Willie Nylander and?
Talk about this.
Well,
I sent the. I regretted it immediately because you don't need any more reason to.
Were you kind of suggesting that Willie has issues with coaches?
Yeah, that was my story. Today on 32 Thoughts.
Yes.
They were having a conversation about like that public access and these different things on like these documentaries or whatever.
Yes.
And apparently, according to Freed, it came up in conversation that there was a disagreement between Keefe and Willie in one of those things. And apparently they fought to not have it in there, the Leafs and Willie and all that, and they didn't put it in. So that was what the story was.
It was a few years ago. That's not that big of a deal, is it?
I don't think it is.
I assume that's why they're discussing it.
I'm happy to hear that you think it's not a big deal. I mean, the only thing that worries me is how bad does it have to be for them to leave in Joe Thornton being like, we're in first place, and have them leave that in. It must have been pretty bad. Anyways.
Those documentaries aren't going anywhere. They're a big part now. I know, and I'm sure some teams like them more than others because it helps promote, but it's just
I think any teams like
it's just a reality now that this is the way we promote, and Amazon's being involved a lot more.
Did you happen to see the random tweet I put out about Tyler Myers is mic'd up? It's like a 3.5, and then nothing happens, right? It's a 3.5 minute video compilation of the little things he says to his teammates, and they say to him.
Great communicator, though. I love it.
Yeah, like he's very vocal on the ice. He's letting his teammates know where he is. They're saying to him certain things about what do you want to do with the face-off, whatever, and it's just really cool. I having been a player, I think I'm kind of. It's really good to be reminded how human those interactions are. Like the one with Philip Hronik where he's like, hey, shoot the puck, Phil. And he's like,
okay, Tyler.
I'll try to, Tyler. Like it's just a bunch of dudes.
I love when he did his little toe drag in the middle, he gets tripped. And he's like, oh, Mizey. This is so hockey. I love it.
And the thing is, too, is just find the guys that are okay with it and find the guys that are actually good at it.
Need good editors, too,
so,
to piece it together.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, it's the teams are going to sign off on it. And to Elliot's point that if an agent or a player doesn't like it, it stays out. But just find the guys that want to participate and do it and actually, like Myers can add value so a guy like you could get something out of it. And the guys that don't, stay away from it.
What's hard, though, is you don't want to have to run everything by management, agents, whatever. The team wants to get these clips, put them on Twitter. Yeah. Everyone should enjoy that.
But you still have to be very careful about what goes out and what doesn't because
if you're mic'd up, I think if you're mic'd up,
right?
Like if they're catching you say something on a rink mic, it's a different situation than you putting on a microphone and going out there and knowing that you are.
Like I can only imagine when McDavid had his outburst in Florida that probably went back and forth on whether to include it or not.
Definitely. I wish
I'd have fought for that hard were I Amazon.
I wish so bad. I watched this documentary, or it was like a 16-minute video. I don't know when it was, like when it came out or where it was from. And I've looked for it ever since. I've never been able to find it. It was Sid versus the Sharks. And it was like a compilation, basically. Like, I remember it was like leadership compilation. And it was just like Sid on the ice and on the bench. And there was this clip from it where I forget who it was on the ice, screwed up. And they like, he missed an empty net or whatever. And the guy on the bench was like, oh my God. And Sid's like, he knows he missed.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares? Like, forget it. Like, you don't think he feels bad about it? And like, it was just like this moment where you're like,
we're not doing that.
Oh my God, I adore this guy. But the whole thing was amazing. I can't find it anymore. Someone knows what I'm talking about.
I remember it.
But there's like a longer thing than just that clip. Anyway, I love that stuff.
He put the fire out.
But
that's what he did.
I just love the access stuff, but it's a fine line. where it's like, then I'm watching Jack Eichel have dinner. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't
But
care
at the
about
same
this.
time, it's like, even if it's uninteresting, I think we learned that a guy's uninteresting. Like, what would Austin Matthews' mic'd up session sound like in a game? I'd love to know.
But there's a guy that doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. Doesn't want any part of it.
What's the saying? What's the sound of
he's excluded.
tumbleweed going by? That's what it would sound
Right?
like.
There's a reason
But
why he wasn't in the last one. He doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And that's fine. If it's not for
As
you,
the captain of the Leafs, is it fine?
listen, that's again, you're going down a different path of what you'd like
Why
or
can't
want.
I go down the path?
Well, because
you
it's
can, but
340, we should probably
I'm
go.
just
Yeah,
I'm just telling you
long.
that it's for me it's black and white.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. You don't feel comfortable about it. You don't have to do it. You're paid to play hockey. The bonus is that we get you to do stuff that helps promote it, but you don't have to. Austin doesn't like that stuff.
You know, though, you talk about you're paid to play hockey. You know, when you're the captain of the Leafs, there's more to it. And I believe Don Draper once said in Mad Men, that's what the money's for.
Yeah.
We expect you to do some stuff
I
here.
disagree with you. Yeah, some stuff, but there's lines to be drawn,
Yeah.
and certain players draw them, and that's Austin.
We should go.
Okay, we'll
Right.
take a quick break. Are we texting 590 590?
That's 590.
Want to get anything off your chest? You got beefs with JB.
We actually have some Leaf line callers we
Oh
didn't
my
get
God,
to,
can
too.
we get to break?
Yeah, let's break.
You got problems with Sammy.
Break!
Edmonton fans want to hit Sammy hard. Text us at 590 590. Back after these words. All right, bringing it home on this Friday. Stretch run here. Extra half hour.
Gord Stellick outside the doors.
Gordon
waiting
is
to come in for
outside
floor.
waiting for his turn.
Thank God we get paid a little extra today.
Isn't that nice?
Um,
Not going to happen.
let's play a call.
Okay.
Todd in South Florida, right there.
A quick question for you and the boys. Would you consider trading Matthews for Quinn Hughes? Straight up, 1-for-1 deal, if that was something that was ever put on the table. Love to hear your thoughts. Take care, guys. Love the show. Keep
Hey, save Matthew some money being his Uber driver to the airport.
I was going to say, consider? There's no considering.
Yeah, it just happens to be exactly what the Leafs need.
Yeah, that is the most done deal of all time, in my opinion.
And
Vancouver would never do it.
well, nobody really wants to trade for an Austin Matthews right now until there's some signs that he is the player that you've seen in the past and worthy of $13.5 million.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think he regrets not taking 8 years?
No, I still think he'll get.
You still think somebody's going to give him
13 plus.
8 years full boat when he's up?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I think
You
he's
think
going to be a
that?
40 goal
First of all,
scorer.
It's a long ways away. It's 2 years away.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have any signs of being a threat as a premier goal scorer, the answer, Sammy, is no. He won't get it. He won't be that guy anymore.
I
So
would bet
there has to be
so much on this.
There has to be 50 or 60 goal kind of look to him. 35 or 40 goals doesn't put him in a top 10 payment.
If he scores 35 or 40 goals the next 2 years, he'll get over 13.25 per year.
If that's the case, it's still nowhere near where he should be.
I agree.
Okay.
He should score 55 and be in a Selke running and get 17. But
If you're a 35 or 40 goal scorer right now, you are in the scope of 10 to 12 million dollars, but he's not getting a big raise off of 13.
yeah, it totally depends. You're right. It depends how the next couple of years look.
And, he can happily become a very good goal scorer in the National Hockey League, but he will no longer be special unless he brings back the magic that we've once watched.
Yep.
Quick text here. Couple texts. As a longtime Oilers fan since 1978, I think the problem with the current edition of the Oilers is their general manager. Doors seems to be slammed in his face. Offer sheet deals backfire. His hands seem to be tied. Then what good is he? Bowman should lose his job. Wow. Neil in Calgary, formerly of Edmonton.
Neil in Calgary is
Formerly
great.
of Edmonton.
Yeah, fair enough. I
Wouldn't say
find
he's
those
done a
sort of
great
things
job.
hard to weigh in on. It's really hard to know how much freedom he has, which decisions he's making. I don't really know. But, it's tough to argue that since he's gotten there, that they have surrounded those guys with the right cast. It hasn't worked yet. They've gotten pretty close. They've been decent. I don't know. You?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay.
Edmonton or Calgary you were talking?
Let's go to the next one.
Glad.
Hold on. Yeah, it really, honest to God, it's around 97, right? 97. What does he want? Where's his involvement? Come on, like any moves ever made? How do you not go through him?
Loop him in,
or loop in his agent or something where it's like, so like, where is he emotionally with this hockey club moving forward here?
Well, here's just from Justin in Toronto. Do you think Connor McDavid is an AGM of the Edmonton Oilers right now?
Yes.
In many ways, top players on their teams have tremendous influence. So, call it what you want.
Yeah. Because like LeBron for years in the NBA was
the answer is yes.
AGM,
They
right?
do. They do have influence in personnel, including like who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, who do you want out of the room, right? Take a look at the changes from their Stanley Cup final to this year.
No Perry.
Just know that your star players can sit there and go value, no value, and then it comes into play. Yeah. Not saying they make the decisions, but it has an influence.
Another one from Edmonton. Glad Sammy's back. Oh, thanks, bud. Being from Edmonton, the coffee shop talk is all about goaltending. Everyone here has had enough, and the time has come to get someone, because if not, Connor is gone. The coffee shop talk is ironclad. The Jari stuff is crazy to me.
Is it?
Yes.
Why?
That's just Stu Skinner East more expensive.
Oh, he's a career 9.056, something like that.
You know how I feel. If you're
doing a goal,
if you're going to pull this one out, okay, this is your last crack. If the Titanic is sinking, go down with a proven winner. Not
in
Jari.
8 games this year has been 9-14.
Not Jari. Okay, you're just guessing again.
That's for me. If it's game 1 of the Stanley Cup final, and you have a choice of starting Tristan Jari or Jordan Binnington, who are you putting in net?
Okay, can I tell you my hot take?
It's
yes.
Okay, just one more.
Yeah.
It's like lose the shootout with Gretzky.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Yep. Totally. I'm in on that.
Mark Crawford, if you're listening.
All right, here's my hot take. If I were another team, I would be actively seeking Stu Skinner. This guy to me, he's played me off the stage. This guy
get the hook.
Is a career, I think, 903 save percentage guy. He has been in back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. He's played big games. He's just 27 years old. He makes very little money. To me, there's not a lot of more desirable contracts and guys to take a swing on. Get him out of the Edmonton spotlight a little bit.
Wow, what a zag. I love it.
I don't think he's a bad guy to seek.
I love that zag. Wow.
Bring me Stu Skinner.
Not to Toronto. Like
Not
maybe
to Toronto.
Stu Skinner can be a very good goalie.
For sure.
Great backup in Anaheim.
Right?
But to me, he's
or a guy that can go in, or he can go
he's-
in on a spot, maybe go through a 2-week stretch of
Yes.
being very good.
That's the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, at
Totally.
$2.5 million. Is that what he is? 2.5
3 or something like that. But
You're right.
yeah,
I got no problem with that.
come on in behind my 1A and
Be great in St. Louis.
yeah, really good. Anyway, that's all.
All right.
Bye,
Where are
guys.
you?
I'm going to go
Why?
because Gord's coming in and I got to do a show to do. I got to get home.
We
Watch
get
the Leafs.
electricity for
Yes.
another hour?
25 minutes. Not an hour.
How long?
4:25. We got to be out. So 25 minutes electricity with you.
I'm so confused.
I'll help him.
It's 4:30, but there's these things called breaks, and you got to hit a hard out at 4:25:50.
I'm just thinking about my first shift tonight
Yeah, I
at
know,
Scotiabank Arena
You have
against
to fight.
Shorzy.
You got to
Shorzy.
fight Terry Ryan.
No, I'm
So,
not
good
fighting.
luck.
That's why we got Darcy Tucker. All right. Just like that. We lose Sammy. but we gain Stellicktricity. Gord Stellick when we return on Real Kyper and Bourne. In for the stretch run on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. Out goes Sammy, and in comes Gord Stellicktricity.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
Upgrade.
He's talented. Put your hands together for the lovely Gord.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, guys.
How are you, buddy?
I'm outstanding. What reliever am I coming in? Like a closer? You know, you're thinking I'm Hoffman in the last inning holding a one-run lead. This is casual, right?
It is, but we want no beach balls over the plate.
The high heat. The high heat.
Bring the high heat today, Gordo. So we're happy to have you. Thank you for taking the time to do it. We spent a little bit of time talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first half of the show today. I guess I wrote something positive about the Leafs today, that I feel like getting Joseph Woll back gives them some time to figure out the team they were last year, the team they're going to be this year. If he can make enough saves to just help them get a couple of points along the way, they can still turn this thing around. It's not too late yet.
So I like it. I've always liked Joe Woll too. Like Stolarz was the revelation last year. Joe Woll's the first goaltender developed from within since Felix Potvin. It's something they've really failed at. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased he's back. And as we kidded about pitching, like if you don't have pitching, if you don't have a quarterback, if you don't have goaltending, you're not in the game, right? So that's part one for this Toronto Maple Leaf team. So the other night, again, the goaltending, you can't expect that every game, but hopefully you get more of that because you got used to it last year. Then you don't get any breaks normally. And I don't like complaining about the officiating. They got some chintzy calls, but all you can do is kill the penalties. They did that, and then they're down 1-0. No video review, and so a lot of little things went right. But I think to use that as a positive, Joe Woll, and he may have to play the next 60 games. I don't know, but that certainly is a positive.
I'll go to you, JB, and then you can follow up, Gord, just in terms of a puck drop in Washington for the Leafs within the hour here. Are you going to stick to with Willie Nylander? I threw out that this could have been looked upon once upon a time as a scheduled loss, whether or not you would have put Woll in tonight or put the Hildebeest in and then see Pittsburgh on Saturday. Justin made the point they don't have the luxury here, but do you want, even if they lose tonight, you still feel the way you feel, according to your article?
Yeah, I do. I kind of think that I expect them to get 2 wins out of the next 4 games here. They've got some tough games. They're in Florida. They're in Pittsburgh, Washington. I forget who the other one is, but it's a tough game.
Not Carolina, is it?
Might be. Either way, it's a tough game. So I expect a couple of wins here. I think they're not terrible, right? So if they can piece it together, the road trip should be good for them. I think they're getting back to general health. You can see more out of Matthews, see more out of Nyes. Get some line consistency. Ideally, get the same guys playing with each other for a while. They're going to give this 5-forward power play a rip. Could they find something there, find little magic? They're just searching for what they are at this point, it feels like. And I still think there's too many good players for them to be a non-playoff team.
Well, first of all, I agree. There's no cavalry. There's no solutions here. Yeah. A couple of years ago, they got Mike Babcock fired. I've never seen a team more proactively get a coach fired. So you knew that happened the one year. The other year, you came dead last to get Austin Matthews, and you did. And then there's been this progression and a pretty consistency during the regular season. So I thought, Kippy and Justin, that this year you're picking up from the positives, to pick up on your positives. Okay, the deepest they've gone in the playoffs in 22 years. First time they've come first place in their division in 25 years, except for the Canadian division time. I mean, all these kind of arrows. Yeah. 9 consecutive years in the playoffs, the longest streak of any current NHL team. I thought they're picking up from that. They're picking off from the deplorable Game 5 and Game 7 against Florida. That's why Brendan Shanahan's gone. That's a big reason Mitch Marner's gone. It's the manner in which they exited. That's why we're Blue Jay crazy still, because that went down. That was a phenomenal finish. It was close. This one, Games 5 and 7 at home, you're saying, seriously? Yeah. Really? Seriously? And this is where they seem to have picked up from that model more so than the other bigger portion model. So let's hope that there's been a flip, a bit of a change in the positive direction.
Just to be clear, it's Washington and Pittsburgh this weekend, and then Florida, Carolina, and then back home December 6th against the Montreal Canadiens. So,
by the way, their schedule sucks. It's a terrible schedule.
Well,
it is.
It was easy. It was the easiest schedule to start.
That sucks too.
That sucks. It does. So I think I told you, Kippy, I saw True Living at the Brian Burke, what do you call it, the sports business seminar, right?
Sure.
Whatever. And sorry, Berkey. I mean, it's a good seminar. It's 18 years it's been running.
You didn't say it sucked.
Yeah, no. It was good. It was good. But I said to True Living, and sorry, I hate people that do that. Yeah, I was talking to True Living. No, anyway, I don't talk to him about.
Very relevant.
But we need name dropping. We've been on the air for over 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So Tree, as I call him. Anyway, I said about the schedule because first of all, I know people were having a hard time moving tickets. Like it wasn't the Jays are playing, and I know as a general manager, I like getting on a road trip early in the year, right? Big time. Like you get this team bonding, whatever you want to call it. And they had like consecutive home games. And he said, what happens is they had a decent schedule, and there were 2 big road trips. Maybe one's the one that they're on now, and they would only come home from 1 game. So they asked if they could have more space. Well, it's kind of like when you get an exam back or test and you say to the teacher, I want it remarked. And the teacher says, I could give you a lower mark.
You did worse.
So he said, we got the schedule back and they moved 8 home games on us.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not an excuse. It's a cop-out to use it as an excuse. But there's so much planning put into the season. That was a brutal schedule.
Gord, earlier in the show, we talked a little bit. We've just been sort of reminiscing about some old stuff today. I was telling some stories about Pat Burns, and I talked about Pat Quinn a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember I watched you in the Harold Ballard documentary last year, and just wanted to hear a little bit about how you think the coverage of the Leafs has changed. Like, you have obviously seen it from one end to the other. It's interesting now because we don't get to know Austin Matthews, for example. I've been a radio host here for 6 years and have never had him on the station. How have things changed since back when you were involved there?
So to go back to the 60s, because when Punch Imlach came around the second time, that I remember driving him to the town hall, was a restaurant, and he would have weekly lunches or biweekly lunches with Milt Dunnell, who was a columnist, Scott Young, Neil Young's dad, who was a very famous columnist, Bill Stevenson. So the GMs, and you look back, the GM was the GM. He ran the team, and the media acquiesced to him. So then it flipped the Harold Ballard era that, first of all, nowadays, like, I get a kick out of the GM talks every 20 games. What are they, Joe Biden? Whatever.
Is everything okay? Can we hear from him more?
So back, and you remember the old Gardens office, the same in Madison Square Garden. Media's in your face, and they were delivering the message. And so every day you kind of huddled with them, and that was the reality. And then you got owners that liked, and Mr. Ballard was one of them, that just loved media attention. And you've seen less of that now. It's more the corporate thing. But he wasn't alone. There was George Steinbrenner in baseball, and there were other Marge Schott, and on and on and on. So it would go crazy about things, and the GM and coach the heat was always on them. Mm-hmm. It was always on them. Like now it's unbelievable, just as far as like in Calgary. I really like Craig Conroy. Yep. Okay, I do. But they're going, they're in the process of negotiating an extension. You kidding me? I would have run up the office, signed that paper right now, whatever, like give it to me, whatever, kind of like, and I'm not knocking it. I just said it's got that, and coaches, okay, they're the first in the firing line, but they get paid now. So every day you'd pick up, instead of like about what we're talking about today, about the Leafs, definitely with their start, there would be something, Ballard hinting Stellick not long for the world, or Ballard hinting, whatever the coach may be. Yeah. Like, absolutely, that would be part and parcel. Meanwhile, Ross Atkins did a great job, had long time there, and nowadays you can just talk when you want to talk. It's ridiculous that he hasn't been on the show, Austin Matthews. Like, I mean, I made it a point that, I drove Kenny Reggett to go on with Derringer once on Q107, right? Whatever. You drove, there within reason, there were certain expectations because you're talking to the public.
Well, and it does, though. It makes you pick through every word more. When we hear from the GM every 20 games or whatever it is, then we get the tweezers out and pick each word and whatever, rather than just, you're talking all the time. It's not as...
Let me ask you something.
Flood the zone, as they say.
Do you think it takes a special person to be one of the leaders for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, it's beyond just what you do on the ice. There has to be some sort of trait in your personality that has enabled you to get out there and do certain things. Because, like, I can only go by when I was a kid. Daryl Sittler, like, hung the moon for me.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, and I no one cheered harder when he scored 10 points. No one cheered harder when he scored an overtime win to beat Czechoslovakia at the time in 76. But I also remember him more so than anything, like March of Dimes guy and getting out there, him and Terry Fox, and just getting out there.
Yeah.
And to Justin's point, that's not Austin. It is not Austin. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're paid to play hockey. You're paid to put the puck in the net. Is that something that they've got to think about moving forward here in terms of who they pick and who they want there to be the face of the franchise? And does it have to come with that type of outgoing personality, or is it okay as long as he's scoring 60 and 70 goals?
So, okay, two parts. One, that wasn't Borje Salming either. That was Doug Gilmour. That was Wendell Clark, right?
Can I say something, though? It hurt Borje, too, that he wasn't that guy.
No, totally. And he said later on he regretted he didn't, wear the C and do some of those other things. But the point about Borje was we're not in the dressing room anymore. And you know more than anything, the dressing room is real. Like, it's real. And so, and there's leadership groups in every dressing room. And if you got the wrong person being a leader, and there's nothing wrong if your best player isn't a leader, then don't make him a leader. And all I can say is last year, of course, I love Austin Matthews, the player. John Tavares, who was a quiet leader, and I think you need a little bit more spark, but you couldn't be more of a team guy or classy guy the way he handled that transition. And then the leadership meant nothing. It's not even really a visible thing. It's almost like an award to wear the C, and maybe you can do what Connor McDavid did in Edmonton. If you would ask me a few years ago, not knowing much inside, I would have picked Morgan Riley, just a guy who kind of strikes me as a captain. But it's an important thing, being the captain, and the leadership group is important. And why were they bringing in Wayne Simmons? Why were they bringing in Joe Thornton? Why were they bringing in Patrick Marleau? Because these guys were young, but at some point, you got to evolve to be the real leaders. And that's where we're going to find out now, a litmus test about a team that has no business where they are right now, and is playing like where they deserve to be right now. And can this leadership group lead them out of the way? That's kind of what Craig Berube's saying to a degree. There's no trade coming. They're not going to fire the coach. They're not going to fire the general manager. These guys have done it before, and they got to figure it out. And figuring it out means doing what you did last year for the bulk of the season, whatever it was, that kind of commitment.
It's funny looking back, through Stanley Cup winners and who the captains will be. I'm trying to think, like, do you have to have this sort of exemplar of leadership as your captain, or can it be just your best player? And it just doesn't seem to be a case where there's not someone who is a great leader. Those guys win Stanley Cups. And I know I have done some work with Daryl Sutter on his book, and he's talked about guys he had for captains. When he was in Calgary fairly recently, they didn't pick a captain one year because they didn't really feel like they had one. I think that'd be a big statement to make here in Toronto. It'd be hard to do. But if you look at the past 5+ years, 10 years, it's tough to say, oh, they overlooked player X. They haven't had a guy that you would say that's Bergeron, that's Crosby, that's Barkov, that's whoever. It just hasn't been here.
And also the group. I mean, it's a group as well. But Bill Root was a journeyman guy, played in Toronto, but I really liked him. But he talked about being in Montreal once, and I forget which player it was. So, but anyway, one of the guys that maybe Claude Lemieux, whatever, being a bit of a jerk on the bus or something. Just about opening beer, like doing the cough thing and opening it, whatever. And Bob Gainey came down and told him to stop it or whatever it was, and he just said, I will, but the only reason is because I respect you so much.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, just that kind of that kind of tone, that over kind of thing. So yeah, we'll find out, because no one's really emerged to be, and that's where the Jays were going, man, there's all kinds of leaders on that team. The Raptors were starting to get in. So we're saying with the Toronto Maple Leaf team that we feel we know so well because they got longevity being here, but who's really come out as a leader of a team? Well, really wasn't a big deal last year when they're first place and have those excellent regular seasons. Maybe it's a big reason why they don't ever go further in the playoffs than you hoped they would or thought they should. And now this regular season, yeah, there's a lot of things that are missing, and that's one of them.
You're watching and listening to former general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and now
broadcast legend.
Yeah. Gord Stellick in studio.
You volunteering it, not that it's not true, because it is true.
On the Real Kyper and Bourne show. We just had the very talented and also a legend in his own mind, David Amber. A little concerned about Canadian hockey right now in terms of how many teams we may end up in
play
the
better.
playoffs.
We'll play better. Play better.
How concerned are you now for Edmonton moving forward here? We heard some key injuries coming down a few hours ago. Roslovic obviously has been a pleasant surprise, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be around for 2 weeks here. Is there a real threat here moving forward for the Edmonton Oilers to miss?
Okay, so I mean, but like Toronto now, it's not real early, but it's still early. As far, I mean, the Montreal Canadiens last year at this point, forget it. You never thought they would have made the playoffs. The St. Louis Blues at the 40 game, never mind 2019, the 40 game mark last year, you wouldn't have thought made it. So first, the Canadian-based team, Skipper, I think we all want a team to win a lot of us want a Canadian-based team to win the Stanley Cup. If it's not going to be whatever team you cheer for, first time since 1993. Then, of course, Kippy's American teams, the Rangers, took over from then. But it was kind of a fun at the start of the year going, theoretically, every Canadian-based team could be in the playoffs because Ottawa, Montreal made that jump last year.
Yeah.
So that's going to change. Right now it's you're talking millimeters and, games in hand and thing. But I'm surprised, to answer your question. Edmonton, they're Toronto of the West, except they have gone to the final twice, okay?
Right. Yeah.
They have gone, that's a big difference, okay? That's a big difference. But they've got those kind of question marks, and it may come down there to goaltending. Like it may come even that goal, like the ghost of Mikko Koskinen has never left there. It just seems, that Stuart Skinner's going to be unfairly maligned, I believe. And the last 2 years, so if they want to make a move, that's what they're going to do. Okay.
You've been a general manager. What is the move here?
For Edmonton?
We've talked about Jari out of Pittsburgh. Yep. We've talked about Binnington. If you were Stan Bowman right now in his chair, where do you go?
Well, all those guys. Binnington has a 14 team no trade, but you got to think 1 year left. He likes to win. Again, we can't.
Connor McDavid. That's all. I
know. So we can't speak for the player, but I'm thinking, just that UC Saros. Okay, I know he started a new contract. Yeah. But you're talking about, and I'm sure he loves Nashville, but those guys signed, I love the players that are winners, want to win and say, like Brad Marchand did last year, let's go somewhere. So, I mean, let's park him.
Soros is not going to Edmonton.
Park him. But
let's be honest.
What about Steve, where do you think Steven Stamkos fits? And I know Steven Stamkos isn't 28 anymore. I understand that. But where does he fit on a really good team?
As a scoring winger, which he is not right now, a lot of teams could use help on the wing scoring goals here.
Last year in Tampa Bay, stats were decent.
He's got to get that back.
Well, understood. It's on him, but also hey, Larry Murphy left Toronto, won 2 more Stanley Cups because at that stage of his career, he needed you could argue every player wants to go to a good situation, but certainly a veteran player. So I'm just saying, Edmonton, look at that, and also with what Connor McDavid did. And I know you got to work the cap stuff out. I understand that, but he kind of said to them that if there's a Seth Jones type player out there this year, you got to be in like Florida was last year. You got to be in and being creative, and that kind of player moved there. So that's what we're looking at. Where Toronto, there's nothing. There's no players. There's no coaching change, no general manager change. There's no draft picks. Let's get Scott Laughton healthy and find a role, okay?
Yep.
Let's get Brendan Carlo. If he's not getting traded, find a role because you gave up stuff for them and you got no more to give.
What do you make of these guys, superstars that have term on their contract? Quinn Hughes, Matthews, McDavid, these guys where it's a couple of years left, but the teams risk losing them for nothing if they're not going to stay. It's the Mitch Marner thing where they had an opportunity to move them, they didn't, and all of a sudden you're left holding the bag going, well, that didn't work out. They're tough conversations to have. No one ever wins a trade for those guys. I think a lot of people would say you just hang on to them for as long as you can have them, but at the same time, boy, Vancouver's got to get something for him, and the other Canadian teams might find themselves in a similar pickle soon.
Because it showed, Julian Brisebois made a really good business decision with Stamkos. As much as sentimentally, we love him, they loved him there, but he made a really good business decision. Now, that factors in his age, right? He was in his early 30s. But it's interesting, 2 teams Brad Treliving's been with, Johnny Gaudreau left, which they didn't expect. So then it forced the Matthew Tkachuk trade, which they got good stuff back, but the intangible went the way of the Florida Panthers. And it's been a setback for Calgary. And you really don't want anyone to ever leave like Mitch Marner did again, where you got nothing. And, part of it is you got, Kippy, I know no trade, but I got to think a player should understand when a GM says the last 2 years of a deal, I can't give you a complete no trade.
JB said the other day he loves the power that these guys have now to just
the
go
players?
in there. Yeah.
You love the power the players have
I
to
do.
complete no trade. Well,
No, not the complete no trade necessarily. Just the
Calling their shots.
Yeah, guys having an interest in saying, I don't like the way you're running it here. I don't want to be here anymore. Because listen, for years,
that's
guys
different.
would get stuck somewhere where it's being poorly run and the team's losing. They couldn't get out, and I just think we're seeing more empowerment for the players to stand up and say, this is not working.
You go back to junior hockey and Jeff Jackson, the agent, having lunch with him. Sorry to drop names again, Jax. Anyway, but years ago,
Double J.
and he was just saying a certain player, and he goes, they won't put up with a bad situation in the OHL. They'll make sure he goes somewhere else because you don't get that year back. So I agree, and I love the fact that junior players now can go play NCAA, and there's a lot more flexibility in that regard. But I'm saying about what's going on with as a manager, you got to use the tool, and you can't keep blanket no trades all the time that are going on, because they got stuck with Marner. That you look, the general managers that have negotiated that there's partial no trades the last couple of years.
Yeah,
you got a little flexibility.
Yeah,
when Rantanen said he would come to Toronto, you were screwed.
Keep talking amongst yourselves.
What are you doing over here?
You're putting a cardigan on? Oh my goodness. Is this Santa
This is
Kippy?
my cardigan. This is my Christmas outfit for the Christmas party tomorrow.
In the neighborhood.
Would you be mine?
A beautiful day in the neighborhood.
My neighbor.
Look at the sweater.
Oh my goodness.
It's a beautiful sweater.
Won't you be my neighbor?
So now, where is this? What's going on here?
I was watching JB do his amazing work on Sportsnet.
Yeah.
And I saw him wearing this sweater.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. And it just it brought me back childhood memories.
I will say, I am if I could have one style definition for me, it would be professor. That's a little bit professorial. It's very festive too. You look.
It is.
Does it bother you how you intended to be silly, but you actually look really good in that?
Are you going to the faculty wine and cheese party tonight, Kippy, with a pipe?
Gord.
Yes.
Listen to me very carefully.
I am.
When you see something scary, look for helpers.
Who are you mimicking
Mr.
here?
Rogers.
Oh, Mr. Rogers. Okay. By the way, Mr. Dress Up, last week would have been his birthday, just so you know. We were throwing up Ernie Coombs and that. But anyway, that's a good Mr. Rogers.
Can I borrow this for Christmas?
Absolutely not. You don't like it?
No, I love it.
You don't love it. Don't give me that.
Buddy, I love it.
You know what? Mr. Rogers is wearing a very nice sort of quarter zip collarless job there. I like that.
I love this.
Did you see when he talked in front of Congress years ago?
Yes.
Like he got those $17 million or something?
No.
What are you talking about?
He's an American hero.
He talked in front.
What are you talking
for
about?
PBS
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, for PBS money, like the whatever public network, and he talked, and it's a wonderful clip. And one of the old senators goes, "Well, you got the money. You've won over everybody here." He just described what he did and why he does it and the effect he feels it has on kids. And it was wonderful. And it's, hey,
I thought he was exposed to asbestos or something.
No.
And he was suing the government.
So that's the way to play hockey sometimes.
We raised
simplicity.
we raised a lot of money for Easter Seals and Eric Lindros.
Yeah.
Can we do it to save those shows? Because that's an issue.
Mr. Rogers.
We could lose them.
You look good.
I look great.
Yeah. All right, we got to go.
We got to go.
You're going to have a telethon, phone $17
I'm off to play at Scotiabank Arena.
Oh, nice.
Shorzy.
Oh, yeah.
Have you watched Shorzy?
Shorzy's great.
So we're playing their cast today.
Is Terry Ryan going to be there?
We had Terry Ryan on yesterday. For those of you, download Spotify, Apple, find it. He was fantastic in
Ted
it.
Nolan was in today. They're all going to be there.
Wow, I feel like the Bronze.
You want to come down?
I'm actually doing my old job. I'm working the game on the fan. So
Cool.
otherwise I might have, in all honesty.
We got to go.
It's a good thing you're wearing that shirt. I would have wore
Same
that shirt
color
too.
as your sweater.
I know.
Let's
It would have
change.
gone well.